What's up, Tony? What's up, Michael? How you doing tonight, sir? Sorry, I'm munching on Oreos. Alright. Now, we gotta fix this. I'm pretty good, sir. Thank you for asking. Can't complain. Just come back from vacation, so. I had no clue what I was doing. Yeah. It's been what? It's only been a week. What am I talking about? I guess I just said screw it. Drive this back. Wait, is this corn ready to harvest? Oh, it is. Is that the only corn we have up here? No, this is all corn? Oh, dang. Alright. The heck was Unfolder Combine then? Jeez. I was riding with that up open the whole time and I could close it. Oy vey. Okay, I'm officially out of Oreos, so I guess I can. Just go all the way down these. Turn on live chat, not top chat. There we go. Not like that makes a difference, but It could at some point. Excuse me. Sell off those. I didn't. Okay, let me sell those off real quick so we don't have like a ton of money. I mean, we already got a ton of money, a ton of more money. That's how we've gotten so much money, is these unrealistic solar panels. Come on. Just sell them all. We have 115 million. I don't think we're gonna blow through that. God, can you imagine that? $115 million. I don't think I can spend all that. I don't think I can spend $115 million in a lifetime. I know most people would buy like a big house, Lamborghini. I don't need all that. I don't need all that at all. All that, though, I would probably waste a ton of money on fire trucks. Like, buying the old retired fire trucks. Like, if I ever had the money and was able to track down 502, I'd buy it in heartbeat. I don't know where I'd put it, but I'd buy it in heartbeat. $115 million, let's build a hangar, build a fire truck. What's that redneck they doing tonight, sir? In all honesty, what I would do is build like a, I would probably a hangar, in all honesty, and just build trucks, and then just to justify this, I would do like a, make it like a museum, do like paid mission. Fire truck from different places, different years, different decades. I think people are paying for that, right? back yet. We got back in last night. We did. Destroy that corn. Oh, CR11. I was like, what's 711? Yeah, they were definitely gonna need to upload by the time we did. Holy crap. This thing's cold. Find a truck. I thought I was going to be doing some, what's it, barley? Back this up and sit a little more centered, I guess. Can we fill this thing though? Corn? That'd be great. fill it up and then go to sell it, see how much we make off it. Not like we're hurting for money, but that'd be one hell of a payday, wouldn't it? I think it's like, holds like 2 million? 2 million liters, I think it is. I think I sprang for the unrealistic. That looks good. Hold up the pipe. And let's continue making our mess. Now, won't be check. I won't be around tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's WrestleMania night 1. And I will be watching it from my couch. Same with Sunday. It's not Easter Sunday. It's WrestleMania Sunday night 2. Oops. Graphics that are making your heart. Yeah, it's the game. That's been like that since 19? I don't remember. But anything to this. It's always less tracks. These are it's supposed to be a rut. I don't know. I was tripped. I can't complain. There was some stuff like a 3 a.m. wake up call from the fire department. That was, or I should say fire department. The fire alarm going off 3 a.m. wake up call from the fire department. It's probably my fault because I was really bummed out that I didn't get a picture of the tiller truck when it came by when we were at the gas station. So I guess it came to me. So I mean, I guess it's kind of my fault for being so bummed about it, but you know. Not that our room was for some reason the bed. So it was 2 rooms. Like it had like a living room area and then a bedroom area. For some reason, the bedroom area was much warmer than the rest of like the bathroom area and the living area. And I think I want to say it's over top of the gym, which has a sauna in there. So I think because especially over top of the bed, like you could feel a definite temperature difference. So I'm guessing our bed was over top of the sauna in the gym, which was causing it to be hotter than usual. I don't remember it being that hot the last time we stayed there, though. We had the same room last time we stayed there. I feel like this maybe it's because it's longer. I was like, why does this feel like it's yielding more than the last minute? I think it's because it's longer than the last one. No, though. We stopped and both of them were shaped like barns. And I'm curious to know why. Like, the Walmart even had a silo and everything, with Walmart on the silo. So I'm curious to know what the deal is with that. Corn stalk that refuses to be harvested in it. It still didn't harvest it, I just ran over it. Oh, no, there it went. My game sounds really loud, or you quiet?
I haven't touched anything.
Must be my game sounds.
Yeah, because we were good yesterday, right?
Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for that.
No matter what, I just sound like shit on all your streams. I don't know why.
Did my game sounds get turned up? Turn it down to 50%, see how that is. Yeah, I don't know, this is how you sound through Discord though.
Yeah, I know, but I have my input device as like my...
It's a Pete.
effects thing. So it should be good. I mean, let me ask you this. Does it sound any different between when I do this or if I do this? Is there any difference?
That's louder. The second one was louder.
Louder, okay.
But it sounded the same, just amplified.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. How are your Friday meetings?
I've learned a lot.
Oh, now I see the ruts. Let's get out and look at
I
them.
learned that actually, like,
Yeah, you do.
when I was sitting there and, like, obsessing over, like, spreadsheets and PowerPoints, just
That's the part
thinking I had no idea what I was doing. Actually, like, my manager actually, like, presented my info to, like, the chief medical officer of, like, the whole company. That's, like, a big deal. I was actually, like, in a meeting with the guy. Just in meetings with all these, like, stupidly important people now. And went through that, and the guy, like, didn't have much in the way of questions. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, like, you know, when we present this to, like, the board, maybe you should, like, exclude this stuff. And it was stuff that, like, I didn't put in there. My manager just, like, made some tweaks But the stuff that he put in, they told him to take it out. And the lady that went after us for like presenting their budget, the guy just like stopped her halfway and was just like, I don't understand any of this because like you aren't using any numbers in your slides. So like you need to fix this and come back to me. And I was like, well, damn. All right. I'm like 3 weeks in and I just like knowing nothing came up with the like a summarized version and made a PowerPoint from scratch, not with no instruction whatsoever. I was just told like make a PowerPoint on about this. And I was like, okay. Not knowing, I didn't even know who it was going to be presented to or anything like that. So that was kind of a big deal. And I was like, all right, well, maybe I'm not like screwing this up as badly as I thought. And then the girl that used to be in my position that moved on, or like on my team, not my position, on my team, she moved to a different position in the company, still in finance, but somewhere else. And it's funny because she can help me out because I don't really know what I'm doing, and where she is moved into is like kind of where I'm coming from, or like where I came from. So like I know like all of the management team that she's dealing with because I've had to deal with them. So we're just like exchanging information at this point. And she was like, well, how's the new job? And I was like, nah, it's okay. Kind of sucks. And like I was like, I can't really read my manager. And she's like, well, that's one of the reasons I left. I was like, oh, good. And she said, not for nothing, but like I have a coworker that started the week before me, and she worked in the finance area like at this company before, just moved into this department. And she, I guess, has been nonstop talking to this girl about how frustrating it is working for this manager because he doesn't do anything to, like, there's been no onboarding whatsoever. Like, he tells us that we need to have access to like X, Y, and Z software stuff, and then when I ask him specifics on it, because like all of my shit's been rejected, he's like, I don't know, I'll find that out, and then he just never does. And on any given day, I show up and I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing, so I just sit there until he tells me to do something. And I'm like, I gotta be doing something wrong here because like he doesn't want to talk to me really. He doesn't like me, as far as I know. Like he's the one that hired me, and I've been here for less than a month. So, but apparently the my coworker, who's also new, has been complaining about him essentially doing the same thing to her. Just like she shows up, fires up the computer, and she's like, well, I guess I'm just gonna sit here until like the manager tells me to do something. So I'm glad it's not just me. I learned that, and then I also learned that I'm responsible for one of our company's directives is like value, or yeah, it's called like value improvement process stuff. Basically, it's like coming up with ideas to like save the company money or like become more efficient, and you can submit these ideas through a portal as long as you can like, you know, provide some additional information like, is this going to be cost saving, how much is the savings going to be over what time, all these details and stuff. So I came from my department where they were trying to replace everything with AI. It was one of those projects. And I found out today that I'm responsible for reviewing all of the projects that come in and approving or denying them.
Oh my God.
Yep. So, like, had I been there like 6 months ago and this stupid AI thing that like essentially crushed my old team, I could have been the decision maker on that and denied it. So like my manager like had our team in a meeting this morning. He was explaining all that stuff, and so I stopped him. I was like, wait. You're telling me that like these projects, regardless of like if there's like cost associated with like, you know, like a software program or like the development of like AI and stuff, like as long as there's like cost savings, like it's on me. Like I don't need to get like your approval. I don't need to go to like the CEO for their approval. Like it's on me. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, the amount of power that I have. Like I can just sit there like the Roman Empire, like thumbs up, thumbs down, sitting there up in the top in corporate. I can just like totally do away with the project that means nothing. So I met the guy who has the same position as me, except for like from the area that I came from. And I met him like last week, and he and I have been like talking. I have not told him too much about where I came from, but he knows where I came from. And I'm like, oh, there's got to be a way for me to like one of my goals was to like infiltrate from up top and crush this project that they've been forcing on my old team. And I was joking about it with my old manager. I was just like, oh yeah, I'll get up there and I'll just like, you know, move the money around, and I just like, you know, I'll kill the project. Completely joking.
Now in the realm of possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All I have to tell him is, all I have to do is show him what they've been working on. Because I found that project in like the VIP, like the portal thing that I have. So I found it, and I looked at all the stuff, and there was no like cost savings filled out at all, which is kind of curious, because like why would you approve that if there's no cost savings? But they're claiming it's going to save like 2 full-time employees. But it's interesting that it's not like written down in the actual like project charter. So now that I have access to this, and I know that this is one of my functions, I'm totally going over to that guy next week. And I'm going to be like, it looks like you greenlit this project. That was 6 months ago, and let me just show you what it is. You may want to consider that, because we're also like in the middle of doing a forecast right now, which is like not an official budget, but it's like a more like accurate representation. Like every quarter we do a forecast, which is different from like our annual budget. It just kind of gives you like a better idea of how things are going based on like the changes that happen on a monthly basis. So part of that, you can like rework the numbers. So we're about to close on a forecast at the end of this month, and I'm gonna talk to him and just be like, hey, if you want to talk about saving money, you can just axe this project.
And you'll be the hero of your old department.
Yeah. Well, I think I already told you, but like there's like a lot of people, there's been a lot of change since I left, and it's just gotten even more toxic over there. And so the person that is now running that area, she used to just be like a manager of a team in my area, but now she's running all of the teams. And she's apparently like she's been asking my old coworker nonstop about like who I'm working for now, what department I'm in, what building I'm in, all this stuff has been asking constantly. And
What's it
I'm
to
pretty
you?
sure it's, well, that's my thought. It's just like you never really cared about me before. Like we didn't work in the same department. You were the manager of like the adjoining department. And so like why do you all of a sudden care like where I moved to and what I'm doing and who I report to? And it's because they're nervous.
Don't burn this motherfucker down, Pookie.
Yeah, I think I already told you. I equate it to like one of those like movies like, what is it? You ever seen Shooter?
Yeah.
With Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know he gets like some classified information, and then he's like on the run from the government because they're like, oh, one of them escaped, and he's got like inside knowledge. And I feel like that's how they're treating me, because like I didn't get laid off, my job didn't move, and I managed to leave and move into an area that has control over the finances of what they're doing. And it was well known to everyone over there that I 1,000% disagreed with what was going on. So they're trying to keep tabs on me. So I have an agreement with my old coworker and my manager because I just have them like ping me anytime that someone asks about me. Because I'm like legitimately worried about this. And actually had my old manager talk to my new manager about everything that was going on and to like, you know, keep his ear to the ground. So that's latest and greatest.
Corporate finances, man.
Dude, it's something. This is a different level. I was talking to like the person that used to be in my department, and I was like, yeah, this is just like a different breed of corporate that I'm not used to. Like, I'm used to being the only one that can do Excel stuff and like creating a budget from scratch. And here they have like fancy spreadsheets and all of these like plugins for Excel that like connect directly to their finance reporting stuff, so you don't have to like enter it directly into the software. You can just enter it into Excel and submit it through Excel. That's just like crazy stuff. But I also had no idea like the amount of like exposure. I thought I was just making a slide deck, because when I was going through like the shared folders and stuff, there's like slide decks for like everything. So I didn't really think twice about it. I was like, oh, I don't think anyone's going to look at this. And like, not only was it going to be seen by the like most high up people in the company, but like, I'm in a meeting with like the chief medical officer of this company, which is like, again, it's like 80 or 90,000 employees globally, and I'm sitting in a meeting with like the chief medical officer for the entire company, and then like the global VP of like preclinical, and all. It was just like 5 of us, and I was just like, what the F am I doing sitting here right now? So all I do in these meetings, I just sit on mute.
This is my PowerPoint.
No, but they think my manager made the PowerPoint. That's how it works in corporate. So
He
like
took
I
full
make
credit
I
for it.
make the PowerPoint, and then like, he cleans it up a little bit, adds things that like I probably don't know, and then presents it, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, Bob, like nice PowerPoint." So like I don't get butthurt about that kind of stuff. That's just how it works. I don't want to take credit. I never want to take credit for a PowerPoint ever.
Because the one time you do, it'd be completely screwed up.
No, because like PowerPoint's dumb.
Oh, that was my
But
favorite thing we had to learn in high school was
well,
PowerPoint.
let me explain by saying that like outside of Excel, I would say that like my number one skill is probably PowerPoint. Like I make that stuff look good. And like I actually took a class in college just on PowerPoint.
I don't care.
And it's not about like formatting and like transitions and all that stuff. It's about like how to be efficient in like communicating information on a slide. So you don't want it to be like too wordy. You don't want it to just be pictures or graphs. You want it to be like a combination of both, so that somebody, because what I'm finding out is these people that run these departments, they're not analysts, they're not math people, and half of them don't understand how to like work their own budget. Like they don't know their own numbers. So I have to like come up with something for the layperson that doesn't understand finance and make them understand their own numbers. And so it's kind of an art when it comes to that, but I just wasn't expecting it to be like these people. So like I've been having meetings with these people a lot lately. And, they're like, "Oh, hey, PJ's, like, good to see you again." And, like, I'm still learning, so I have nothing to contribute to, like, anything at all. So I'm just sitting there, like, on mute the whole time. And these people like to be on camera, too, which sucks. So I'm sitting there with, like, my blurred background, but it's like you can blatantly see like paint cans and like a ladder in the background because I'm like in the process of painting this room. Yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm just like nodding away, like agreeing with the stuff that the bigwigs are saying, and I just provide like color commentary, nothing related to the actual stuff. But anytime they like bring up something outside of the numbers, I'll chime in. So the big thing around here is we have the 250th anniversary of the Battle of Lexington and Concord. And a lot of the people live around like the Concord area. Myself included. But the higher ups are talking about how early everything is. Because like they have reenactments starting at like 5 in the morning.
You gotta keep your authentic reenactments, including time.
Yep. So I was just like cracking because they were actually talking about it because the CMO and the VP of Preclin live in that area, and so they were talking about how they're actually going to go and meet up. So I was just making jokes about that, and that's like the only thing I can provide. My wife's like, "You shouldn't be joking around with them."
We're just broing out.
I was like, "It's not jokes. It's like how you make a connection, you know?" All right, where the hell are we here? Growth. What's that stuff? You still working on corn?
Yeah, we got a ton of corn.
All right. How about that? Looks like we also have a bunch of... What the hell is that? Barley? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Back to... I don't even know.
Since I started... how long have I been streaming?
There it is. I'm over here.
48 minutes ago, I've harvested 43, 44, 35, 30, 24, and 45. And we still have 31, 30, 29, and 28 full of coins.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna head up there. All right. I guess I'll start at 31. My mom texted me this morning. She's just like, so, like, how are your work from home Fridays? Are they as laid back as they used to be? I mean, like, my Fridays from work from home was like, I turned on my computer at like 9. I plugged in my little thing that jiggles the mouse. And I put like a Bluetooth headphone in so I could hear, and then I would just do whatever I wanted for the day.
Not no more.
No, now I'm having meetings at 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9, 10, 1:30, and 3. On a Friday.
Happy birthday.
And what people don't understand is that, like I throw some gel in my hair when I'm in the office. Like, dress nice, but like the second I walk out from my cubicle, like, I throw a hat on and I wear a hat 24/7. So it used to be no big deal if we were having, like, you know, meetings on work from home days and I'm wearing like a hoodie with like one of my trucker hats. No problem. But I like had that on, and then I like checked the meeting and I was just like, who is even in this meeting? And then I saw who was in the meeting. I was like, oh shit. I probably can't, like, no one's gonna take me seriously if I'm wearing a hat. But if I don't have a hat on and I don't have like hair gel, like, my hair just looks stupid. So I have to figure out a way to like make it not look stupid.
Get a
It's
mullet.
like, what do normal people do? Because I don't have long hair and I don't have a buzz cut. I don't know.
Grow a mullet.
Well, they wouldn't be able to see the back. They wouldn't be able to see the back of the mullet.
That's part of the point of it. This is in the front, party in the back.
Right, but I'd have to like shave my head, like, or buzz cut the front half.
Go for it. Yes, Cody agrees. Mullet.
My wife would kill me.
Or
I used to have.
or once you get on that tractor with the mullet, she might start digging Morgan Wallen instead of Taylor
Right, just
Swift.
wear my pit vipers.
Yeah.
I actually have a pair.
Cut off jeans, sleeve muscle shirt. There you go.
Yeah, she probably liked that. Like, I already have. Oh shit! Am I harvesting the wrong thing?
Cut off
Yeah, yeah.
flannel shirt. Jesus.
31.
What's it gonna become, Cactus Jack now?
I mean, I already have to be careful because I found out that I used to wear, like, my trucker hats. I used to wear them backwards all the time. Apparently, that's the thing. Some people like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, all right, gotta be mindful of when I'm doing that, because, like,
What's wrong with wearing your hat backwards?
Other than that's not the purpose of a hat.
Yeah, it's also like the ladies love it.
Yeah, haven't you seen
Like
all
from-
these country stars? That's how they wear their hats these days.
Mm-hmm. It's like if I actually have some serious work to do out in the yard, I always just like I always wear my hat backwards. But
Depends what I'm doing.
yeah,
Because the sun's always on my
won't
back. and then I flip
won't be mowing the lawn for very long.
One. I just got done mowing yesterday.
Brandon's so
Well.
lost in this conversation.
Yeah, I know.
He's
Nothing new.
focused on the lawn, not
Right.
the purpose of the hat backwards.
Yeah.
He's never had experienced it, so he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Mhm.
Concrete
These
drive.
days, you got to be careful with the hat backwards. That's all.
I mean, people really offended with that. I mean,
What?
nothing.
But you don't understand.
He has no clue what we're talking about. I will say I'm offended by that picture of the guy who's at the baseball game with his hat on backwards with his sunglasses on the brim, and then he's using his hand to cover the sun. That
I've never
offends
seen
me.
that. That sounds offensive.
Yeah, you've never seen that picture?
No,
He's at like some baseball game, and he's got his hat on
I've seen it
backwards.
before. When I worked at the DBW, the guy that I used to work with, he did the same thing. Except he had just like one of those stupid like fishing hats, like floppy. I just call them like floppy D hats. They're just like, I don't know. It's like a grandpa hat.
Like a fisherman hat?
He's like, yeah, kind of.
Bucket hat. There you go.
No, not a bucket hat.
Oh.
No, it's a hat with a brim. But you know, like the trucker hats, like the front of them has just like some structure to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So this is just the one that like contours to the shape of your head. It's just like floppy, limp. I just call it limp dick. So he's like wearing one of those. And his sunglasses, he always shopped at like, do you have Savers down there?
No.
Alright, so it's like a glorified like Salvation Army, except it's mostly like clothing. But it's
Like
like
Goodwill.
retail store. It's all donated clothing, but the store is presented like an actual like retail store. But you can just go like donate your clothing to Savers if you want. Anyways, that's where he gets all his stuff. So he's got these like big, oversized aviator sunglasses that he has on a string that goes around his neck. So when he drops them down, they hang at like, booby height. And so he's got them down there. He's got his hat
the shades
backwards.
for the nipples.
And he's sitting there. We were driving back one day, and he's like, I can't see shit. He's like driving the truck back. And I was like, dude, I was like, turn your hat forwards. He's like, well, what's that gonna do? I was like, well, you also have sunglasses, big guy. Like, use them. And he's like, no, the sun feels good on my face. I'm like, all right. Ah, boo.
Boo-hoo.
You got a truck over there?
Yeah.
All right. I'll grab it.
I'm on my way with
Or
it.
you? Okay.
I'm in the field south of you, so I'll bring it over here. Yeah, stay with us,
Fabuloso.
Cody.
So, from the buffet, was your favorite food the wings? The garlic parm wings? Right, that's what they were?
Yeah.
Was that your favorite part of the buffet?
I don't know. The prime
have
rib
a standout,
was,
like, best
was
thing?
pretty good. It wasn't like the best prime rib I ever had, but it was still pretty good.
Well, no, prime rib, if you get good prime rib, it's like $50, so.
Well, let me put it this way. I forgot that we were going to the buffet on prime rib night for night 2. And the night before, we went to his place and I got prime rib and I paid $45 for that. Whereas
pretty
for
close.
the buffet is $30.
Mm-hmm.
And the prime rib at the buffet was so much better than the prime rib I paid $45 for it.
I only know that because we went to I think 30 or 40 different places for like wedding venues. And they use the menu and you have one of 3 options for meat. It's either filet, a prime rib, or steak tips. So I know how much prime rib costs, like, per plate. And that's just one of those useless facts that I'm always going to have. Nobody cares about. It's like prime ribs, like I said, about $50. And then these days, if you want a fillet, it's like a good fillet is like $65. It'll be like 50, 55 if it's a 6 ounce, but if it's 8 ounce, you're in like the 60s. Like if you get a good prime rib, I can't really complain about that.
Started playing Phasmophobia with my buddies. Fun game, but...
So would you say it would be like between the wings and the prime rib?
Before you get used to it, it will just freaking you piss your pants. Sorry, what was that? Talking chat.
That's alright.
Cody doesn't care for prime rib. Hello.
Listen, once you get into those cuts, like outside of the fillet, I will say that like fillet is on its own, like you can just tell it is superior.
I don't know, I'm more of a ribeye guy myself.
But I can't tell between like the once you get into like the other cuts, I really can't tell the difference unless you're talking about like a cheap cut. Like I can tell that, but between like the steak tips and short rib, like in my world, like the texture is just kind of the same. Especially if it's cooked the same way. Like me personally, if I had short rib, I would not put that in the oven. I would put that on the smoker.
I wish I had a smoker.
Same. And I'm loving house life because not only did my wife like green light the tractor, but we were in Home Depot a few weeks ago and there was a sale on like the Traeger smokers. I'm talking like a deep discount, like 50% off. It was like an $800 smoker that was on sale for $400. And it's the one that has like the auto, it was a pellet one. And so it's got a hopper with pellets. So you just dump the pellets in and it inserts pellets based on, like you can go to your app on your phone and set your desired temperature and time. It has a thermometer built into it, and then you can just check your phone all day long to see like internal temp and like how much you have left in the hopper.
Sounds like
like,
you're
the status of it.
describing the one my buddy's got. He just literally just sets it, and he just pays attention to his phone.
Yeah.
Tells him everything he needs to know. Like,
Well, which is great because like my friend at the DPW, he would like show up with his smoker, and
just my pants.
like one of his things is because like during all the storms and stuff, all the trees would fall down and we'd cut up all the trees. But if it was a good one,
we were
like,
playing,
he'd take the wood from it. So like,
when you
I can't tell you how many like
lights start flickering, that thing starts
applewood
chasing you. I was
and
pissed
like
myself.
maple and like all the different trees that we cut down.
That and
and
the
so
prison
he had
doors
his
shutting.
friend come in and do our DPW a favor by like chipping it all into fine pieces, like fine enough to use for the pellet stove. I mean, the smoker. And then he would show up at like 3:30 or 4 in the morning on a Friday and like set up his smoker, get all the wood chips in there, smoke stuff, and then by the end of the day, or like dinner time, we would come back and have just like an entire barbecue cookout over there. But it took him like 10 or 11 hours to like to do it that way, the old-fashioned way, which I appreciate. Like I, you know,
Lord.
personally, I believe that's how it should be done. But in this day and age, I don't have 10 hours to like go check on it every half an hour and like add more wood chips or like, you know, open up the vent and watch something for that long. So if this does the same thing with the same results, I'm all for it. And it seems to be pretty good.
Yeah, he doesn't have. He's the like a tech. He loves everything. Like if it has some sort of use for him, he's willing to check it out. So the last Thanksgiving, I think he smoked 2 turkeys, and he was given like hourly updates on Facebook on like the process. He kept showing his phone, like, this is what I'm at, you know, yada yada yada. The dork, but that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be good.
Yeah, our old neighbor had an electric one.
I couldn't play it single player.
Yeah, with that,
I
just
need,
like,
I need
it's not
someone
really the
to run faster than.
Like, by this time next year, I'll have a smoker.
My dad was almost gonna pull the trigger before all this medical issues. He's like, we already got the pellet stove, so we'll have pellets on hand. I was looking into getting the smoker.
It's a different kind of pellet.
I'm pretty sure it is, but
It's the same, just one you get for the actual cooking. It's smoke flavors like applewood or hickory
yeah,
or
we don't
whatever.
always add that in.
Well, yes and no. Like, can you add it in? Yes, but wouldn't you rather it just be like
And
Yeah,
if you
or-
want stronger flavors or not.
Yeah.
Some people may just want a little bit or a lot.
Well, prison's the worst one. It's the spookiest. That, I think the school's pretty spooky too.
I don't know, sometime during our last winter, we had a mouse family chew through the cover for my Blackstone. And they just lived on the surface of the Blackstone over the winter.
Okay.
And so I tried using it last week, and I was taking off the cover, and there was a big ass hole in the back of it where like the grease trap is, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then I pull off the cover, and you see like mouse droppings and like mouse footprints on the surface of the Blackstone. I was just like, oh shit. Now I gotta like clean the whole thing. But now I have to get a new cover.
Yeah, we're not that coordinated to stay together. We end up always running all over the damn place. Someone out here just got a brand new Blackstone, or someone just dumped their garbage. I seen it the other day when I took trash out.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because we're not supposed to be allowed to have any of that out here. So.
Blackstones are cool and all. I think
I miss my
prefer to
grill,
have a
though.
grill.
I mean, I actually like, so my wife got me that for our wedding. It was like the 36-inch, like 4-burner one. Which is cool, because it's like the best one one of the best ones you can get. So like, I appreciated that. However, it's mostly just the two of us. So I had gotten a camping one. It's like a 17 or 22. I think it's a 22 2-burner. It comes in like a carry bag and stuff, so you can just like pack it all up and throw it on your shoulder. I mean, it's heavy. It's like still like 70 pounds, and it's really uncomfortable to carry. But nonetheless, you can travel with it. Like, I've brought it over to my friend's house for like his kid's birthday and stuff. I do all the cooking. I just bring my Blackstone over and stuff. But like, I'm able to feed like a dozen people in a solid time span, like start to finish for burgers, like 20 minutes, and that includes like toasting the buns, melting the cheese on the burger and all that stuff, which is pretty good tonic for a 17 or 22 inch. So I'd much prefer that. The 36, I only turn on 2 burners. And then some of the stuff's just better on a grill. Like steak tips, better on a grill.
And also any cooked stews or soups.
What? You can do that.
And it's easier on a grill when you can close the lid and...
No, I actually think it's easier on a Blackstone.
No.
Yeah, because you can regulate the temperature. One of the crazy things I did was make my own onion rings. So I took like one of those tin foil like baking pans, like the 9x11, something like that, 9x13, like Reynolds aluminum dishes, and you just fill that full of like oil, slap that on the Blackstone on the surface of it, and crank the heat, and you can easily regulate the temperature on it, and then you just drop them in. So you can do the same thing for soups and stuff. I think in hindsight, what I would do is I would get like a rolled top, like steel that they have at like diners.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
I hate that, man.
How can you hate Guy Fieri?
Because like at this point in life, like, is he even a good chef? Like, I'll give him credit because he essentially made the Food Network. Food Network always existed, but they never really had any good shows. And so I think he single-handedly like made the Food Network what it is. But it's always with like Guy's Grocery Games and drivers, drive-thrus, diners, and dives, Triple D, or his like Tournament of Champions. And it's him judging other people's food. And it's like, dude.
Oh no, he doesn't. He pretty much hosts them.
He doesn't cook anymore.
They got all. Oh no, he does on Guys Grocery Games. Like there's randomly he'll be like, "This is an interesting."
Once in a while he'll jump in.
Yeah, he's like, "This is an interesting idea. Let me try my hand at it." And a lot of times,
No, but he's
the
not
judges
competing.
are just like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, but he's not competing.
He didn't have to. He's the host.
Exactly. I'm saying, so is he a chef or is he a host? Or is he a food critic?
He's a chef that turned into a TV personality.
Because, like, honestly, if I started, like, a diner, my dream is always to have my own breakfast place. And, like, Guy came in, and he was like, this isn't that good. I would not lose any
Fight me,
sleep.
Blondie.
Yeah. Like, oh, when's your boy band dropping their next album?
Yeah, but when he came in is like, this is the bomb, and then like your business exploded.
I'd much prefer that to happen on Shark Tank.
Hi, my name is PJs, and this is my diner.
Mm-hmm. I'm not really looking for any investments. I'm just kind of
Promoting.
telling you to come on by. All right. Unrelated, but my friend just sent me, and my other friend, a super long-winded. It's a story, and it's only because I like Hulk Hogan.
You're one of the very few people that like Hulk Hogan.
No, I just do a very good impression of Hulk Hogan.
Oh, okay.
So I always used to do that on our I just remember, like, when we were playing baseball and we'd get, like, blown out. And I'd be, like, sitting in the back there and I'd just be like, tonight on Hogan Knows Best. And then, like, me and a couple guys were just, like, coming up with random scenarios for Hogan Knows Best. And then, like, my coach would, like, stand up and just be like, we just got blown out, like, 15-2. This isn't the time to be making Hulk Hogan impersonations.
Yes, it is, brother.
Well, I just said, whatever you say, dude. And yeah, I was the captain of the baseball team. There you go. All right. Here we go. This is Hulk Hogan recounts a story about a steak dinner he had with Macho Man Randy Savage one night in Miami, 1989. There's the context for you. This is all a quote. So, quote, Randy shows up, and this is from Hulk Hogan. Randy shows up at my house in this blinding white Ferrari to pick me up. Says he's taking me somewhere real classy. It's New Year's Eve, Miami Beach. He tells me it's a 5-star joint, so naturally I throw on a yellow tank top and a matching do-rag. Randy wears a pink leopard print blazer and spandex pants so loud it made babies cry. Bandana pulled low almost to his eyeballs. Hair slicked back. And I mean way back. We were both huge pieces of shit in '89. You understand. We roll into this upscale steakhouse called Trifoni's on South Beach. White tablecloths, jazz musicians dressed in all white, playing to a room full of folks also dressed in all white, sitting on white couches. In '89, the whiter the decor in Miami, the more expensive it was. We sit down, and the waiter comes to get our drink orders. Randy stares him dead in the eye and says, I'd like a water and 3 of those big old chunks of rare meat you got back there. The waiter's eyes shoot open like an alarm just went off, and he looks scared. He leaves the table in a hurry. Now, understand something. This was 1989, Randy Savage. That man was running on 40% adrenaline, 60% cocaine, 5% vodka, and 2% undercooked meats. I had never seen this man drink a glass of water in my life. He got this look in his eyes I could see even through his sunglasses, which he naturally didn't take off even though it was 9 o'clock at night and we were both indoors. Then the manager comes over, pale as a ghost, and says, Gentlemen, please, no sloppy steaks tonight. Randy says, real exaggerated, Come on, what do you think we're gonna do? As the waiter walks away slowly, staring at us. I turn to Randy, utterly confused, and that's when he smiles and leans in really close, so close that I could smell his hot breath, which smelled like diesel fumes coming off of a dying truck. Randy said, They can say no sloppy steaks, brother, he whispers, but they can't stop you from ordering a steak and a glass of water. 3 steaks get dropped off at our table. Huge hunks of meat. Randy picks up his glass and says, Slop 'em! And pours it all over his steak. It was chaos. The waiters started running over. There was water everywhere. Steak was drenched. Juice flying. So much fun, so I join in. Pretty soon, there's water flying everywhere, bouncing off the steaks, landing on my mustache. He's giggling like a lunatic, cutting into the steak and eating it with sweat and steak juices rolling down his face as the manager flies out from the back room, but realizes it's too late. I miss those dangerous nights with Randy, brother. Honestly, brother, it was one of the best nights of my life. And there you go.
That story is 110% bullshit.
You think so?
Dude, he has lied so much. Him and Randy hate each other.
They didn't.
Oh, excuse me.
They didn't.
Macho hated Hulk, like with a passion. When him
Not in the late '80s. I thought they were pretty close.
No, it's right around the time like they were tag team tag team.
Yeah, wasn't it in
the
like
Mega
93?
Powers? The Mega Powers. They hate each other then, or Randy hated Hulk then. Hulk
That was in the
was
90s.
So delusional. No, I'm pretty sure that was 80s. Let me Google it. When
I don't know.
did the feud between
I'll believe you.
Hulk and Macho?
I just know at one point they were friendly.
Early 1989. Oh wait, no, that's the actual like storyline. real life feud. Okay, believed to begin early 1989. Around the time of the 1989 Royal Rumble, the feud was fueled by Savage's jealousy and suspicion about Hogan and Miss Elizabeth. Specifically, the feud gained significant momentum after a backstage altercation in the aftermath of the match, where Savage felt abandoned by Hogan during the match with the Twin Towers. Yeesh, that's a bad. That's a bad tag team name these days. Did Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan get along with each other, or were they rather just for entertainment purposes? I would say the best term for them would be frenemies. They had a good professional relationship and pretty decent personal one until Miss Elizabeth divorced Randy, and Randy blamed Hogan and Hogan's then wife Linda for it. So it turned out once popular storyline turned into real life. They would go back and forth over time. They as to whether or how well they got along. Hogan claims that he saw Savage at a doctor's office in late 2010, early 2011, and supposedly reconciled. I don't think so, because I think Macho Man went to his grave hating Hogan, like many other wrestlers these days do. Like,
either way, I thought it was weird that he sent it. It's just like, okay.
Yeah. It's just like Undertaker taking shots at him. At Hogan. They were watching Kane and Undertaker clips. And Undertaker's told the story before about how Hogan didn't want to take the Tombstone pile driver. And then once he did, he was going around telling everybody that Undertaker hurt his neck, and Undertaker's like, I watched his back. Your head never hit the mat. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's, oh, you got me, brother. You got me on that one. So then this is like a year later. They're watching Kane and Undertaker clips. Kane and Undertaker watching them together, and he's. Kane, in the footage, Kane Tombstone pile drives Undertaker, and Undertaker's just like, oh, you got me there, brother.
So I miss those times in wrestling before the internet, because like, you were probably more involved in it than me, although I did watch wrestling from like, I don't know, like 98 to like 2005. Probably like 2003, like religiously.
About the same.
But like, so you must have heard the rumor that like Kane and Undertaker were the same person.
I've never heard that rumor. I mean, Undertaker did wear Kane's gear. I know that.
Right.
Much, but...
Yeah, but they never provided a backstory. So, as far as we knew, like. Because like Undertaker died, right? Something like that. And then Kane became a big thing, and everyone thought the Undertaker was Kane, same person, because they were like roughly the same size, all that stuff. Undertaker came back, and that's when he came out of. That's when he came out of the coffin.
This is a new one for me.
Yeah, it all happened.
I remember him because I have that figure where Kane, or it's the name of the figure is Undertaker as Kane. And it's got like the packaging's Kane's mask, and it had the removable mask where you have Undertaker underneath.
Yeah.
Brothers of Destruction.
It's like going back to those late 90s, early 2000s wrestling, like, it was such prime time. Because I remember watching live with Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was like filling Vince McMahon's car full of cement.
The Corvette.
Mm-hmm. I saw a TikTok that the other day, and I was just like, oh, man. I'm so glad that I was invested in that when I was, because the only reason we got into it is because it was like one of the only games that came out at the time that had like the multi-tab, so you could play up to 8 players, and that was unheard of. And then we just all subsequently just got heavily involved into wrestling. You know, like Stone Cold came out and he was like with his cooler of beer.
Yep.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, they just announced they're making a figure of probably, like, for me, the most iconic moment in Stone Cold's career. Like, I know he has a ton of iconic moments and probably a lot that rank higher than this one, but for me, when I think Stone Cold, I think, did you ever see the WrestleMania where Bret Hart puts him in the sharpshooter and his face is just covered in blood and he's laughing?
Yeah.
They're making that figure with the blood, with the laughing face. I was like, oh, that's so fucking sick. That's
I didn't
one
watch
of my favorite Stone Cold moments.
I didn't watch it live because back then those were pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, so, like
I didn't have any friends that had pay-per-view. Like, none.
My dad would buy them every now and then, but whenever he didn't, like my cousin, my aunt and uncle, they bought every single one. So I would just go over there for a sleepover and we watched the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So
I take that back. We had one like uber rich friend who just had like no parents around at all, and they had pay-per-view, but they would only use it to, it's like one of the kids was my age, one of the kids was my brother's age, so we'd all hang out together. Yeah, but they would like sit there and like order like porn on pay-per-view because it's like how you'd get it sometimes back then, and they would just like sit there and watch it. I'm like,
that's weird.
no, that is weird. This was a kid who also like invited me for a sleepover, and then at 9 o'clock said he was going to take a shower, and then I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to his mom pounding on the door being like, John, get out of the shower, because he fell asleep in the shower.
So wait, he was in the shower from 9 till 5?
Right. So
Good
like several
Lord.
questions happened there, because I was like 12, maybe 11, and it's just like there was no reason to just like, it wasn't like passing out for any reason. And second, it's just like the mom was home. Like, why are you not paying attention to that
How do you not notice the shower running?
for that long?
Yeah.
Well, the house was so big that it was just like their area was a completely separate side of the house. But as a parent, you'd probably want to like check in. But yeah, aside from that, I didn't know anyone that had pay-per-view.
me.
And back then, like, there was no way to find
out.
out about what happened, too, because there was no internet.
They had to watch the next night and figure out who won everything.
Yeah, and get the recap. Mm-hmm.
Now, at the moment the freaking bell rings, you know who won. You don't even have to watch it. You just online, and then they spoil everything on Instagram, so you can't like wait for the next.
Well,
night.
yeah, because also if it's like a pay-per-view or something like that, you know someone's just putting their phone up to their TV screen and streaming it on like TikTok.
Yeah. That's the best part about having Peacock. Is you get them all for free. And I'm gonna guess they're doing that. They're gonna do that when the Peacock deal's up. They're gonna do it on Netflix, I think.
Like the WrestleMania and stuff?
Yeah.
Really?
So from what I
thought
understood,
they moved all that stuff over to Netflix, though.
not yet, not in the U.S. Overseas they have, like Britain, everything's on Netflix. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, everything's on Netflix. Here it's just
Netflix
Raw.
can't even figure out their live streaming.
They've done
at
pretty
all.
good for Monday Night Raw.
They've been terrible.
no Monday
for
Night.
everything else, they've been terrible.
Yeah, no, they've been airing Monday Night Raw for since the beginning of the year, and they've done pretty well with that. Every now and then you get
We had like
minor
interruption
hiccups,
issues.
and then like you have to refresh every now and then because like the audio's out of sync with the picture. But
Right. My point is like, you shouldn't have to do that.
no, you shouldn't. But like Peacock's got well, I should say Peacock's had its struggles with streaming as well, but.
Well, that's why they're like one of the lowest rated apps.
But yeah, I think
Like they were a little late to the game, and it was obvious that they hurried everything because right off the bat, like I didn't use Peacock for shit. The only reason I use it now is because we don't have cable, and I'm not paying for Peacock. Was it Premium Plus?
yeah.
Because like I like having that DVR option because I'm all caught up with On Patrol, but I just don't like how they do it.
So from what I got from the deal is that with the Raw Netflix deal, Netflix has got first shot when everything else comes up, like their contracts come up, and I think the Peacock deal is up in 2026. So Netflix has got first dibs on the pay-per-views. And like I said, they're already on Netflix. Like their Netflix is live streaming it overseas already. But it can't be much harder than broadcasting. So I don't understand why they're having so much trouble with streaming.
It's about bandwidth and like the number of users watching. So, like, I think one of the first live things they did on Netflix was like the Love Is Blind reunion, and it straight up just got cut off like 10 minutes in because they couldn't handle the bandwidth of so many people trying to watch it at the same time. So they didn't have that infrastructure in place. And so they've continued to fail with a lot of their other live streaming events that get a good following because it's just the same problem. But the downside is that, like, so you can, like, go watch whatever was live streamed on Netflix. You can just go into Netflix the next day and watch it. But between when the live stream's done and when they post it on there, they edit everything. They have a whole editing team. So they did that for like the roast of Tom Brady. I think that was on Netflix Live. And there was a ton of stuff that they edited out. So if you didn't watch it live, you missed out.
They do it with wrestling because there was a incident recently where Ric Flair's daughter, it was trying to sandbag another female wrestler, and the female wrestler called out her real life divorces, and just like straight, she's like, when WrestleMania is done and over with, you'll be a loser, just like in your real life. What's that? 0-3, and she just dropped out of the ring and took off. And Charlotte Flair's like, oh yeah, and the wrestler's real life boyfriend, she's like, why is he in my DMs?
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah. But I mean, Charlotte Flair brought on herself, but they edited all that out.
No, it doesn't matter. Like, you're just straight like doxing someone.
Oh no, Charlotte Flair's like publicly talking about it. She did an interview where she was talking about how hard it was.
But back in the day, they used to have some like the ability to just like separate your personal character or like your personal self from like your on-stage character.
Well, yeah, because you like the art of kayfabe, like they weren't out there just making it well known. Like you didn't know Undertaker was Mark Calloway married to some woman named Sarah until like he brought her in.
Yeah, but even when you found that stuff, out, like it wasn't being brought up on the show.
Yeah, no, because
because it was still like their stage persona.
Yeah.
And now the lines are so blurred. Where they be like, oh, you posted this TikTok and you didn't get any views on it.
If they ever come down to talking about TikToks,
they're going to.
For a wrestling angle, I'm done.
I bet you that'll happen this year. I'll put money on that.
I doubt it.
Or followers on social media.
Well, they've done that. Like, who's got a bigger following?
I bet they're all bots.
But they were like, all the anti-John Cena people are like, so you're mad at Charlotte Flair for doing the same exact thing John Cena does? And I was like, oh shit just got real. He's gonna break Ric Flair's record
for
at
what?
WrestleMania, the number of world titles. I should say the number of world titles that WWE recognized. Yeah, yep. But everybody's like, he turned heel. It's so good. He's still John Cena.
Like, listen, he started out
he's a good guy outside.
Yeah, but he started out as a heel. Like, people don't really understand that. Like, back when he first came out, like, he got booed.
Well, being booed does not mean you're a heel. It's your president. He's just boring. And then when he became the rapper gimmick, that's when it took off. He's never been turned heel.
Well, it's also because people clocked him so early on of just like trying to be The Rock. That was his ambition all along, was to just do not just wrestling.
That's what they all want.
But he was
but
he was too obvious. He was too obvious about it.
Roman Reigns is doing the exact same thing right now.
I couldn't tell you one movie Roman Reigns is in.
He was in the movie with The Rock, the one of the Fast and Furious movies, and he did.
Well,
he just
I
filmed
stopped
something
watching
else.
when The Rock got involved in Fast and Furious. So.
I was saying, but he was because they made figures of it. That's how I know. I was like, oh, Roman Reigns was in a movie. I didn't know that. But he's supposed to be in some other movie coming out or something. I don't know. But that's. He said he's got 2 years left at him, and then he's gonna. How do you word it? A less physical profession or something like that. Which he's The Rock's cousin, so he's gonna be shot straight to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for Happy Gilmore 2. I was on the fence about it, but just knowing that both MJF and Becky Lynch are in it, I'm like, I'm on board. Not to mention every single pro golfer that's in that PGA game we play, like when your rivals, when you're doing your career, like every single one's gonna be in that movie. And I was like, oh, I actually get to put a face with the cartoon version.
Are you using these Titan headers?
Titan headers?
Yeah. Lizard. Titan header. Unrealistic.
Oh, no. I put that in for the, I think there's one of them does the root vegetables and stuff, and then the grass headers. I'm just using the in-game New Holland, the biggest New Holland.
Cool. Figured I'm just gonna switch over to the soy.
You know, you could be a soy boy.
Oh yeah.
Hey, why you been quiet since the backwards hat conversation?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been
What are you
talking about
doing?
wrestling, so I don't know anything about that or watch it, so.
Well, we've been running the gambit of things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Lots of different stuff. Whatever, dude.
What? You were talking about wrestling. That's all I was paying attention to because of watching the video.
Well, what do you have to say?
That's wrestling. Don't really give a shit about it.
No, not
you
wrestling.
take that back.
It's just. I'd rather watch golf than wrestling.
Now you're full of
I mean,
shit.
I
Nobody
watched
wants
the
to watch
Masters.
golf.
Yeah.
I just don't care for wrestling.
Yeah.
MMA or wrestling, or any of them. I just don't care for it.
He's a non-violent guy.
Oh! Some days.
I could go for another slice of prime rib. He screwed me up on it because we went. I was like, all right, my final plate. I was like, what am I gonna get? I was like, I think I'll get another slice of that prime rib because the first time he He sliced it really thin.
Now we're back to the prime rib. Come
And he
on.
only gave me like half a slice. And I was like, that's not much. I'll go get me another one of those. And then this dude cut me off like a thick slab, a full slice. I was like, oh my god. Alright, I'm not going to be able to finish this. Ate most of it,
Bitch.
but barely. And then I had to like lay
Always
back in the booth and give my stomach a good 10-minute rest before I got my dessert.
What'd you get for dessert?
Shoe fly pie.
Oh yeah, right.
Since we're talking about bait,
Staple.
Stupid shit.
It's a staple. Like, you gotta try it.
I know Kitty Cat's is bougie, but would you really spend $100 plus
Bougie?
dollars on a beef tenderloin?
You need to provide way more detail than that.
Yeah, like
Okay,
like,
$13
how
a
big we
pound
talk?
for beef tenderloin. It's $14.85 right now. It's beef tenderloin. Would you pay that price?
Do that math again.
$14 a pound for a beef tenderloin. It's about $100 some.
Why do you need to buy that much?
It's what it comes in. It comes in as a tenderloin, like a pork tenderloin is just cut of meat.
So you're just getting a hunk of meat.
Yeah, it's like a pork rib or a beef rib. I guess you don't really get that big of a beef rib. But
Yeah, except
pork
you're talking
rib.
upwards of like 10 pounds. So, like, yeah, that needs to be scrutinized a little bit more. Like, why are you
10
buying that much meat? Wait, so it was 17. You said it was $17 a pound,
14.
$14 a pound,
Yeah, I got the fuck out.
and you said it was going to cost how much?
1 second.
It's a little over 100.
Right. Well, then you're talking at least probably 8 pounds.
7 pounds.
7 pounds.
7 pounds and
Well, why do you need 7 pounds of that?
That's what it comes as.
Not in the
Comes
real
as a
world.
tenderloin.
Comes as a tenderloin, like the rest
the
of the
whole-
world understands that. Comes as a tenderloin. It's like, yeah, so does what you get at a restaurant comes as a tenderloin, and that's like $45.
That's what it's called. It's just a 7 pound chunk of tenderloin. It's like a pork tenderloin. You just get the full thing.
So you're just getting the cut. You're not getting.
Yes.
So you're just getting the whole freaking chunk of meat.
Yes.
Yeah. So just so you know, the rest of the world doesn't function in that capacity.
So whenever you go buy meat from a butcher or something,
Yeah, I'm not
you're
getting
gonna
like
get
a
slice.
whole thing that looks like it's cut off of an animal. No, I'm getting like.
What? So whenever you buy pork ribs, you don't buy a full rack. You just buy. Whenever,
Well, no, if I'm buying a rack of ribs, like if I get
I
like
mean, that's
baby
a whole
back
chunk
ribs,
of meat or a whole piece, right?
if you're talking like baby back ribs, like I can buy a rack of baby back ribs, but like if you're talking like St. Louis ribs, like I can't just go to
you're
my
gonna
grocery
summon
store
the sick
and
guy if you keep talking about St. Louis ribs.
get that.
Well, I'm just curious if
Like I can probably go to a
$100 seem
butcher
like-
and get that, but like I around here, unless I made friends with like a local farmer, like I can't get like, an entire freaking slab that looks like it was just cut off of like the back leg of a cow.
seriously, you can't. Oh, I guess.
No, because I live in a civilized world. With cities and shit. No, you can't go do that, and you can't trade like Afghan blankets for it.
No, I'm not saying.
Got this top-notch Amish quilt. Trade you for that rack of ribs.
Yeah. Like you can't do that unless you're friends with a farmer, and you have like a deal in place. But no,
Just don't slaughter his sheep.
if you want to go get like St. Louis style ribs, like you either have to go to a butcher shop, because like I have a few friends that'll, like for the Super Bowl stuff like that, they'll go all out and they have like a butcher contact and they can get like a whole rack of like
Chat.
unpeeled, like or unskinned, like raw
Okay, no one.
rack
no
of
one's
like
chatting
St. Louis ribs. But that's because they have a connect in the industry. But like I can't go to a butcher shop and be like, well, I can, and just be like, you know, give me a rack of St. Louis ribs. And they would, but it'd be all skinned and like prepped for you. Yeah, because we're not all like having farmers out here.
This is just a Walmart. I mean, this ain't no butcher shop. This is what Walmart's selling.
You have to understand that, like, all right, let's put it this way. You do your grocery shopping at Walmart, okay? I don't have a Walmart that has a grocery store within like 20 miles of me because I have actual grocery stores.
What, that an Aldi?
So you live in an area where you need to have, there's not like many small towns, everything's spread out. So you have to have like one facility that has everything. Around here, we don't need that because we have a grocery store and we have like a Target that's not a grocery store. We have a Walmart that's not a grocery store because we have 3 different chains of grocery stores around here.
I mean, we have the major stores around there besides just Walmart.
Yeah, the only major grocery store we have around here is Food Line, and it's so expensive that it's just cheaper to shop at Walmart.
I mean, we have Aldi's, Giant Eagles.
Well, that's my huge
We have
problem.
Aldi.
I don't care for
Aldi's
Aldi.
I don't-
trash.
I don't.
Okay,
oh,
Aldi's
no.
trash.
Aldi's amazing.
No.
No,
Yeah.
they're so
Yep.
freaking lazy. They just like rip open the box and they're like, "Here you go." They don't even
Even
stock their
Sam's Club is
shelves.
not even that lazy.
And well, I mean, my point would be like BJ's, Sam's Club.
I don't know what Aldi's
Costco.
you fit in, but that's not
Like
how
I can
mine
understand. I can understand those stores because they're just like big box retail. Like, here's a pallet of the shit. Grab it as you need it. But the Aldi around, we also only have. I only have one Aldi around me.
There's like
And it's up by my
Alright.
brother's house. And I went in there. The only time I went in there is because they started selling individual packets of Dunkaroos after Dunkaroos went away. And my wife wanted them. So I go up to my brother's house, and on
Wait,
the way
new
back...
Dunkaroos or old Dunkaroos?
No, old Dunkaroos.
Oh, okay. No, but those new Dunkaroos, you can't call those Dunkaroos.
No, old Dunkaroos. And so I'd stop there on my way back to our place. And that was the only time I went into Aldi. But, like, I walked around, and I was just like, this is like a micro version of Costco. Like, they left everything in the boxes that they get shipped in, and they just rip open the top, and you can just grab whatever.
that's
And
how
it's
it
like
was
that
here.
for everything in the
That's not how it
store.
is here. Well, all the ones I've been in, that's not how it is.
No, that's what Aldi's known for.
Not around here.
And like bag your,
shop at,
I call it the BYOS, the bag your own shit. So they
Oh, yeah,
literally
that's
just like
stupid.
dump everything in the cart, and then they give you a
check out anyway, so I do that. anyway.
counter at the end.
Yeah, you have to
Go-
put it in your cart, take it back out, put it on a table, and then put it back in the cart.
Yeah,
That's stupid.
but they charge 50 cents for a cart. So like,
How would they
25.
charge 50 cents?
You put
They
a
have-
quarter
so they-
in, and then when you
Yeah, they have a
turn it,
coin
you get
mechanism
quarter
in there.
back, so they
Yeah,
don't
a
have
quarter.
to pay
it's a
cart
deposit.
pushers.
Yeah, it's a quarter, not 50 cents. Oh, here it is.
What they should do is make it like one of those chip readers, and they should charge like $30, my opinion, personally, because like I
mean, who would shop it then?
I don't give a flying F about 25 cents. Okay, so if you have a 25-cent deposit on something, and the incentive is for you to return the cart back to the thing, I don't give a shit about 25 cents. Now, I'm not a person to ever leave a shopping cart out in a space or not in the cart corral. Ever. I think it's rude to do that. But there's a lot of people that do that, and they don't care. They just...
It's not that bad around here.
They
like
leave the carts in the middle of the parking spot.
It's like 99% of the time. They always get...
Yeah, around here it's like 70-30. But like 25 cents isn't going to deter these people because they're rich, entitled people. So 25 cents means nothing to them. So what you should do is make it like a chip read system and then charge like $30 if they don't return it into the area. Like, make it like a parking fine.
Dude, I found the... Oh, sorry to go off. I'm
actually going to write this down because I actually think that's a very good idea.
If I have to go start paying $30 for a shopping cart because of you, I'm...
Yeah,
no, it's not paying.
Yeah.
It's not paying. It's a
coming up there
deposit.
and kicking you in the
You're
balls.
still paying for it.
No, you're not, because as soon as you return the cart, you get your deposit back.
Just like
Yeah,
a
but-
quarter. But still.
What?
I said just like your
Right now
quarter,
it's a-
but still.
No, right now it's a quarter, and I'm saying, who gives a shit about a quarter?
The
Like-
homeless people that hang out around there, they'll take
Well, they're
all the
not
carts back to
buying
get
shit
the...
from Aldi.
They'll take all the carts back to get the quarters out.
They're, right.
It's free cart pushers.
My point being, you need to have a digital system that requires like a chip scan on the card.
So you
And
tell
if you don't, and then all you have to do is just put like essentially like an ankle monitor on the cart, and then you put those like a pen around the cart return area, so if it doesn't get returned into that perimeter, then you get charged for it, and it should be $30 minimum.
So they take
And
the
that'll
$30
teach people
out
to
of your
return the
account.
cards.
They hold it as a deposit and then return it back to your
So
card.
Redneck, how you doing, man?
Is that what
Not
you're
to
saying?
mention, wouldn't that be hell on fees?
If you return the,
What about
if
the
you
fees?
return,
Every time you use a card, there's a fee. Even though you don't see it, the businesses see
for
it.
deposits that gets returned.
There is no fee for.
So you basically just put a hold. You put a hold on the card. There's no fees associated with that. So basically, once, all right, just let me explain this out like for like 20 seconds. So let's say you want to get a card. Are you done?
Remember for 10 months.
Oh,
Nice,
I'm
sir.
going, but go.
Okay. So let's say you want to get a card, right? They're all locked up outside. What you do is, let's say you have an Aldi account, right? You pull that up, you scan your code, you tap your card because it's got the chip. All right, it automatically withdraws a $30 deposit. Then you do your shopping and stuff, and then you return the cart.
Pretty good.
Once the
Can't
GPS
complain 'cause it
mechanism
was
recognizes
vacation.
that the cart is in fact back, it just takes the hold off
has
the
ups
account.
and downs though.
So you can place a hold on that type of transaction, so it doesn't process it. So it doesn't process the transaction. It basically just reserves the right to process the transaction on your credit card. So it's called a hold. and they can reverse the hold, and there's no money associated with that. So that'd be the best way to do it. But personally, like, I think you should get a fine for not putting your cart back. So I like that it levies a hefty enough fee.
Okay.
Or just bring your own cart and not deal with that bullshit.
I should have. I haven't.
I'm sorry. Are you Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys?
They have those foldable carts.
I got back yesterday and I'm still kind of in vacation.
Yeah, you don't have one.
Yeah, but still. I mean, there's quite a few people who bring their own carts.
Right, but Brand, what you have to understand is from the monetary side of things, if people bring their own carts, that's cheaper for the business. They don't have to deal with like cart maintenance and like buying new carts and stuff. If people bring their own carts, that's better.
Okay, so why do they even have shopping carts at all then? If they want to be.
Because not every American owns a shopping cart. Like, I'd say 99.9% of America doesn't have a shopping cart.
That is true, yes, because no one can.
But do you own a
99% of the homeless population does.
Right. Yeah, but they're not the one that's buying, like $200 worth of groceries. So, on what planet would that even make sense?
I'm just saying. I mean, who would go?
Yeah, but here's your solutions. Here's your solutions to work around this.
Who would still actually go there, though?
No.
Not a lot of people would actually go to that.
Hear me out. You're challenging. The only challenges that you have to my idea are people buying their own shopping carts, which nobody's going to do. Because what if you have a Honda Civic? Are you going to put a shopping cart in a Honda Civic?
They're foldable.
Yeah, believe it or not, there are people that have them. They're pretty neat.
Well,
I thought about getting one.
You could just be an upstanding citizen and swipe your card and put the deposit on. That's a hold, and then return the cart and get your money back, so it's free.
I thought about getting one because
why are you so anti this program?
Because we don't have the issue down here.
Because you're the person that leaves the cart in the middle of the parking spots. No. That's why. Hell yeah. Nope, I figured it out. That's why you're upset about this.
No.
All I would say is that they do have these shopping carts now that are pretty neat for where Delaware we don't have bags anymore. They have them that are like little foldable crates that basically you just attach to the cart, and then you can do your shopping, and then you can just put the crates in. Those are pretty neat. I've thought about that before, but anyway, continuing about how terrible person Brandon is.
No, wait. So because we have reusable bags too, but our grocery store, we get a little like laser scanner. So I just like swipe my card for the grocery store, and then I pull out a scanner from the rack, and then anytime I pick up a product from the shelf that I'm gonna buy, I just scan it with the scanner, and then I just put it in my bag.
We don't have that here. You can do that.
And then
and
so all I have to do is hit summary on it, and then when I get to the self-checkout, I just scan the barcode on it, and it comes up with the total, and then I just pay for it.
Yeah, they have that. That Walmart has that, but it's like a monthly fee you have to pay. I think it's like $13 a month to use that feature.
I think it's a Walmart Plus thing.
Yeah, you have to pay for Walmart Plus.
So how do you scan the barcodes?
You take it to the register,
scan
it,
your phone?
bag it.
Oh no, that sucks. No.
Yeah.
I mean, our Johnny has a scanner. I mean, you have your credit card, you just scan.
No, I'm saying so. All of the shopping carts at this grocery store have a little like cutout in the handlebar for you to put the scanner in. Yeah. So you literally, if you want like a bag of salad or something like that, like you just pick up the bag, scan it, and go beep, and then put it in your reusable grocery bag.
This bougie son of a bitch has an automatic shopping cart.
I mean, I think has
no.
I mean, it's neat and all, but we don't have that kind of technology.
That's not even fancy.
Right?
That's literally like a physical, like handheld scanner that I have to like.
Yeah, we don't have
scan
that
like
technology right here.
like I'm working at a register.
Half
It's
the
same
time,
thing.
the handheld scanners at the checkouts don't work.
So I went to Hannaford's the other day, and I haven't been there. I mean, not Hannaford's, Whole Foods. I hadn't been there in a while, and the one that's closest to us, they were like piloting the like the fancy grocery cart system, but now it's like fully implemented. So if you grab a grocery cart, it has barcode readers built into it. So all you have to do is like grab the thing off of the shelf and throw it into your cart, and it scans it. And it's got like a little touch screen thing on the handles, and you can just like check out right there.
I see where Walmart was testing that, where basically you
Just so cool.
you go in and there's like an arch you go through, and it will just scan everything in your cart, and you check out from there.
I mean, how does
Which,
it work
like,
on the bottom items?
My logic would be like, why don't you just like put a piece of like electrical tape over all the barcodes?
I don't say the barcodes on the bottom of the boxes anyway. If they're on the bottom, how they don't pick them up?
It worked.
scariest
They
thing-
showed it off in the video. Look it up. It's freaking
Yeah, but there's
crazy.
so many easy ways around that.
Yeah, and they also have cameras that can see you put a piece of electrical
That's
tape
the
over the
difference.
UPVC.
That's the difference. So one of the things that I thought was like the creepiest was last time I went to the TD Garden, they have like an Amazon fresh food store, but it has beer, it has wine, it has like a bunch of stuff. So all you have to do is like scan your ID, and then if you have an Amazon account, it recognizes that, but it uses motion sensors. So there's like cameras all over this place. So if you reach into a cooler and pull out a beverage, it knows what beverage you took out and how much it costs. If you put it back, it knows that you put it back. It's not scanning barcodes, it's just looking at like shelf location and watching you and where you're picking something off of. And so it uses that. So you basically just like scan your ID, you walk into this thing, you grab whatever, and then you would just walk right out. Like there's no checkout system.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm. But I've been like trying to put off as long as possible, just like being like, you know how our parents are, where they're like not tech savvy.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom sends me articles all the time. My biggest mistake, one of my biggest mistakes in my life, was getting my mom a subscription to the New York Times, because without fail, on a weekly basis, she sends me stuff, and she's just like, see? And I'm like, I can't read the article.
Yeah, the subscription's yours, not mine, so I can't read what you. That's getting really annoying that our local
No, but
news,
you don't
you
understand
have to
that.
pay $3 a month just to read more than one article a week. I'm like, really? It's local
Well, my
news.
thing is just like, why the F are you getting a paper? Sorry. Like, why?
No, I'm talking about online. Not a paper. Like the online, the what is it, Delaware Online or something like? I can't remember. It's the main main
Dude, all the sites that I used to go
website.
to just like get information and stuff, like I spread the gambit because I like to read things on like both sides, and then I'd find like a neutral source to just see what actually happened. But I like to see how like each side spins things. So like I would go to like CNN all the time. That was like my main source for information. And they started letting you do so. They switched over to just like subscriber only articles. And then now they limited you to like you can only read like 2 articles for free, and then you have to pay for it.
Yep, that's how the local news is.
And I'm like, okay, I understand that like we're moving over to a digital platform and everyone needs to make money and all that stuff, but like, are you really going to deprive people of news?
Yeah, the saddest part about it is they throw ads on there and they make more money off the ads than your subscription. So
Right.
why do we have to pay for a subscription when you're making more money?
Because they
Off
want to
the
make the
ads.
most of they can.
Yeah, but then you have when you
Well,
put
I get it, because,
behind
like, the Boston Globe,
subscription,
like
you
Boston
got
Globe
less
around
people
here
looking
used
at
to
your
be-
shit. So that's you're losing money just by doing it a subscription.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
don't give a shit. They want you
I know,
to
but they
be on
really-
a subscription so you can forget
that's
You're
about it in
arguing
a
against
couple
yourself,
months.
Brad. You just said they want to make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
And then you're
because
saying they don't
more
give a
than
shit
likely
about
you forget
losing
about
money.
that subscription.
no.
No, because a lot of people aren't going to pay for it out at the
Do
beginning.
you know, like,
I mean,
subscription to the Wall Street Journal for a year is like, I think it's like $300.
didn't someone
So like,
forget
yeah,
about
no,
their
I'm not forgetting
OnlyFans
about.
subscription?
I'm not forgetting about that. Oh.
Didn't he do
but
that
it depends-
before?
It depends on how much money a month it is.
What is
I
it?
forget about.
$13 a month or whatever.
I forget about streaming services all the time. It's like I'm done with that now, but leading up to like moving over here, like when we decided to move to like not having cable, like I went through all of my subscriptions and I was like, I literally have a subscription to every single streaming platform. Like I had Netflix, I had Paramount, I had Max, I had Apple TV. And I was paying like $100 a month in that kind of stuff. But because it was only like $10, $15 a month here and there, I didn't pay attention to it. But when it's a large dollar amount, like the Wall Street Journal, so like I got my mom the Wall Street Journal for a year. Or no, sorry, Wall Street Journal and New York Times for a year. Rest assured I'm canceling that shit when it comes up for renewal. And if she wants it again, it'll be my next gift. I ain't paying for that shit.
News.
Yeah, I ain't paying for that shit. But it's just awful that they're like putting actual news when people need to like stay up to date on things.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually important with like no spin, just like news how it is, and they just put it behind a paywall. But it's a fine line because like part of me would want to be like, well, just make it like a public entity, you know? But then you get into communism with like North Korea, like they have all the rights over their media and they don't allow any external media coming in. But it has to be regulated. Like, people
how's
deserve
that
to
done for
hear the
them over
news.
there?
Well, they can't even launch a missile, so not well.
Rocket Man is not so rockety.
I mean, sooner or later, everything will be a paid subscription of some sort. stuff that isn't will be.
Yeah, until people don't pay for it.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Is like I don't go to CNN anymore.
I mean, who's going to pay for news subscription? I mean, there's some articles, yes, there would be interested to
Right.
read,
The
yes.
only ones that are going to be left, and that's the problem, is the only ones that are going to be left that are free are the ones that are like can be completely biased and report news however they want because they're still the
TikTok.
cheapest. Yep. So that's scary, and that's why you're getting a whole generation right now of the complete misinformed. Like, I've been watching TikToks on
What's up, Steve? How you doing, man?
the. I've been over this
you
before,
crashed my
but like
freaking sweet truck
economically,
into
I
a
side
pole.
towards the right, but from like public policy and stuff, I side on the left. So I'm kind of like a hybrid. But like the only news sites that are going to be left are going to be catering towards or like have the ability to spin.
What am I getting hung up on?
I mean, isn't that what most news channels do? They always spin it somehow. I mean,
They do, but what you're
there's some that
doing
are,
is you're hiding real news. You're hiding real unbiased news behind a paywall. So all you're going to be left with is biased, untrue,
Oh, you got too much selection
spun
there, Steve.
information,
Too much selection.
catering to whatever demographic appeals most to that news network. And they're all going to see it as true.
which is what it comes down to anyway.
No, it's not true. That's the problem.
Fake news!
So the average American's not going to spend $10 a month to have access to like news. But they kind of need to in order to form an educated opinion.
I mean, opinion's an opinion, right?
Yeah, but
They're like assholes.
especially
If you get
this
the-
in
They'll
this
taste
past,
awful.
in this past 3-4 months,
No,
I have seen like every time I think that there's people that are just dumb, something comes out and that bar just gets lowered so much. So you have the uneducated population falling victim to whatever news network is not going to put their content behind a paywall. And that's what they're going to consider the news, and that's what they're going to consider factual.
But also, you could say the same thing for some of the sites that are paid.
yeah, like the
Right.
whole.
Well, if you want to pay for your
The whole French-
biased opinions and support your arguments, if you're like an extremist, yeah,
I mean, you don't have to be an extremist. I mean, if you like a certain news channel and you want that
if
information,
you like a certain news channel and you like that certain information, it tends to be biased towards one direction.
I mean,
Listen, I want a news
Is there a
station
news
that
channel?
tells me things that I
Oh,
like
yeah,
to hear,
yeah.
but also tells me things that I don't want to hear.
yeah, I mean, there's very
And just
few that
presents
do
it
that.
as is. Like, form your own opinion. Here's the information. That's what the news should be.
But that's the problem. The people aren't going to watch it if it doesn't.
Right, because they need to be told how to feel.
Yeah.
About it.
Well, they only agree with people. That's their main problem in society today. They only agree with the opinions they believe. or,
Right.
that they hold, and if
Well,
you
that's what
don't
I'm
have
saying,
the
it's
same
like they're-
opinion, then you're wrong. And we don't have any like debate. We don't have any talking
Well,
because
there's no room
it
for
all
debate now.
it all turns into shouting matches because you're wrong, I'm right. That's that. There's no discussion going on. That's the saddest
Yeah, but
part
that's all-
about where we're at right now.
Yeah, but to be honest, that's all brought up by the
tribalism.
leadership. No, the leadership of the country. Just like it's not open for debate. It's just like because I said so. And if you're not like that, then you're a bitch. Essentially,
I mean, you're
very
not
high
wrong about that.
very high level. But people
How
like
many
on
mods
our
are there?
level
There's a ton of mods.
that aren't educated
Not
on both
as many
sides
that's out
will
for night or not
take that
19,
literally and just be
22,
like, "Well, you're a bitch," because he
There's a
said
bunch.
this, and if you don't agree with it, he said you're a bitch, and therefore I think you're a bitch.
But also, that's how this world gets turned around. Because
I know, but
it just makes the world turn, as the saying goes. You know, it's not a good thing, but it just makes the world turn.
I know, and it just makes me think, just like, God,
You can't
like, how
please
many?
everyone, no matter
how-
what their opinion is.
No, but that's not the point of the news.
I mean, they want you to believe one thing, even though
They want you to believe what their agenda is, and that's pushed by the CEO that's running the company.
you know,
Literally, like around here, like Channel 5 News is like the biggest thing. So
But
if
who
you're
owns it?
familiar,
NBC,
Well-
I guess.
Disney.
Okay.
But on a local level, like it gets messed up because one of the like legal analysts for like the whole Karen Reed trial stuff that's been going on, like one of the legal analysts that would always chime in for like judicial related things, like isn't talking anymore because they actually represent one of the witnesses in the Karen Reed trial. And they actually produced a segment that was essentially the wife and sister of Trooper Proctor, and aired like a 15-minute segment on them being like, well, I don't know why everyone's so mad at this guy. Like, he didn't do anything wrong. He's just doing his job. And it's just like,
It's because
well, this guy literally had to read his text messages aloud, calling her a whack job C word.
But he's not far off. Was it professional
Listen.
for him to do it? No, but he's not far off.
I'm just saying, in the theme of the potential cover-up situation, the legal analyst for our local news channel is representing one of the witnesses who is a target of a potential like murder suspect
Any updates on that?
in the
Whole
third-party
thing?
defense situation. So like it's a conflict of interest. So like and it's just like, listen, this entire state, like living in the state where this is going on, the vast majority of people are convinced that this is just a frame job because it's happened so many times.
Has any updates come in past months about this thing?
Trial starts on Tuesday.
It's going to be
It'll
on
probably last
TV
about a week.
or live stream on YouTube.
6. Yeah. All right. So I watched every day of the last trial on YouTube. So Law and Crime Network live streams it.
Yeah.
NBC 10 Boston live streams it. So you can watch the entire court proceedings every day. My issue is that I used to be able to just like watch the whole, like I watched, like I said, literally every day of every part of this trial. I knew it inside and out. I can't do that anymore. But like I'm committed to following this thing through, so I'm gonna like spend all my extra time
Rewatching the live stream.
Yep. Or I found a way that I can like pull it up on YouTube on my phone and then like lock screen and I can hear the audio.
Because you pay for YouTube.
I don't pay. Well, I pay for YouTube TV.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's one of the premium features. Where you
Oh, I
can
don't have
log your
YouTube
phone.
Premium.
Yeah, but you get it with your live.
No,
TV.
So what you do? Nope. So if you have an iPhone, what you do is you open up the video that you want to watch, and then you like swipe up so it goes into like the top right corner,
Yeah.
and then you just hit your lock button, and then it pops up on your lock screen like that you're watching a YouTube video, and you just hit play and it plays the audio for it. But like, yeah, I'm gonna be watching that. That's gonna be, man, that's gonna be the most interesting shit. So someone on the Reddit forums was like, because this is nationwide now, like everyone knows about the Karen Reed trial, and they brought in like 1,000 jurors, not just from Norfolk County, but from like adjacent counties and stuff. And it's like literally for the past year and a half, 2 years maybe, they've had something on the news every single day about this trial, and they're trying to find people that have just never heard about the trial. It's like, what?
Good luck with that.
Yeah, especially around here, like, oh. And it's like the only people that haven't heard anything about this are probably the people that you don't want on the jury. But in the Reddit, someone asked, like, you know, if you're an active follower in here, like, and you know everything you know, could you be an unbiased juror?
Nope. She's getting the guilty vote from me.
So, I said yes. Like, I definitely could. But that's because, like, I understand law, and I understand, like, the judicial system. Like, I can separate what I've read and heard from, like, what actually goes on in a courtroom, and I have to sit there and be like, okay, I can only retain this information. I don't know. Because, like, I'm flip-flopping. I was like, I think she totally could have, and it was a complete accident.
That's where I'm at.
But the biggest problem that I have is that and why this is like, why are we doing this, is because everything about the investigation was so messed up.
Yeah. And the
Like, it
family's
sucks.
acting shady as fuck. So that's...
Yeah, it's so so like, honestly, I believe that Colin Albert killed him.
I think it was
1000%.
what's his name? The one she was flirting with.
Oh, Brian
I can't
Albert. Yeah,
No.
Brian Albert.
No. Is it the?
Or
He's the friend of the Alberts.
Yeah.
I can't think
Yeah,
of
the
his name.
ATF guy.
Yeah, that guy. I think he did it.
No, I think that he probably started it. Or, like, this was premeditated. But I think Colin did it. Because he's being excluded as a third-party culprit. They can't specifically name him. Because he's mysteriously left out of all of the police reports and documents. So the prosecution was like, well, we can't, like, you can't include him, like, he's not in any court documents, and he's not in any testimony or anything like that, so, like, it's not relevant. And the court sided with that, so they can't name Colin Albert as a potential third-party culprit, which is what they did last time. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, it all comes down to the fact that the Commonwealth, like, cannot make a case. Which bears the bigger question, like, why are you trying so hard? It's like, what are you covering up? What are you hiding? Why do you need to get a guilty verdict out of this?
Because she's a miserable, leaky balloon nut. That's why I just can't stand her.
Well, I mean, she just happens to have a leaky balloon done, right?
Yeah, she's a miserable asshole, leaky asshole.
No ass.
Just whole leaky.
No ass. No dudes.
How long do you think the trial will go on versus the first
6 to 8 weeks. That's what Judge Bev said.
Yeah, so you better...
Last one went for 7 weeks.
You better stay up to date, Brandon, because this is all we're going to be talking about for the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Like, as soon as it starts, like, that's all I'm going to be doing.
Did I harvest all that now? Yep, so it looks like it's soybean time. See how it is, Brandon? You don't want to participate in the conversation? It's fucked up.
Yep.
I bet if the victim was a sheep, you'd be all over that trial.
Who?
A sheep?
I don't know what that is.
A sheep? Bah, sheep?
Oh, I thought you were talking about like some kind of TikToker. That's like covering the trial. Alright. Never mind.
So I'm curious, I said something a couple times there. I did find like the bougie part of Pennsylvania. We end up outside of Philly. We end up getting off to get gas off the highway there, and go through this neighborhood. And it's like these massive ass houses all the way down. And I was like, oh, well, there's a Target. I'll stop in and see, if they have any good figures in Target. Went in, pulled around, and I was like, this is a barn. And the Target looked like a barn. And then you pull up in the parking lot, and it's just full of, like, fancy SUVs and cars. I'm just like, what the hell? You go in, there's people speaking French and shit. Just like, what the So then, we end up going, it was like, there's a Walmart here too, so we'll stop in the Walmart, which I got the Polar Express train for $5 there. It was on clearance. Originally $35, I got it for $5. Sorry, I had to brag about my awesome clearance aisle find. But it too is shaped like a barn, complete with silo, with Walmart on the silo, like the logo on the silo. So I guess I don't know what's going on there, but both Walmart and Target were in the shape of barns. I got pictures of them. GTA 3. I never played GTA 3. The first one I ever played was Vice City. But anyway, just remind me never to go to Philadelphia again.
Well, I feel like that should be pretty obvious.
I went there twice on vacation. I never want to go back.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that like everyone used to compare Philly to Boston in terms of like its trashiness. But I feel like Philly's a little bit worse.
Oh yeah, I love Vice City. I gotta agree. I think it goes 5 than Vice City. People at the zoo were amazing. Like the staff at the zoo, like totally awesome. 10 out of 10 would recommend going to the zoo. Just fucking Philadelphia sucks ass.
Yeah.
I think for me, the highlight was definitely the zoo. Like, I'm sitting there thinking about it. Overall, it was that was a great experience.
Can you turn on the pick up objects?
You have to hold Alt. I don't know what it is on controller. If you hit Alt, it'll turn it on. I just love the 80s vibe About Vice
Not
City.
helpful. Cool.
Did you not get it?
Yeah, it's not helping me out in my current situation.
Where are you even at?
I'm at the shop. I'm just trying to put the header on the trailer. It fell off, but now it's stuck to it. Oh. 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 Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Dude, it comes right back. What the fuck?
Yeah, again, I don't think this is the solution. Okay, so you're just going to leave it as the same condition that... Got it.
There we go. Your main problem is your header trailer's too small for your header.
I got the biggest one.
It's way too small.
And this does not hook up. What? There we go. Oh.
That's a 60? No, you didn't get the biggest one.
Come on. Oh. What the hell?
You didn't get the biggest one. Now I'm trying to get it off.
Oh, I gotta try to hook this freaking thing up. There we go.
Oh, hey, I don't know. Oh, there. Nope, that's not your head. I don't know what happened to your header.
I think it's in the building. Wait, no, it's right behind you. Nope, that's the other one. I don't know where it went. Yeah. All right, buy me a new one.
Oh, let's see if we can find it.
Buy me a new one.
It's the HD50.
Yeah, sure. That should be the only one that's out there, if it's John Deere.
Well, it's gone now. That's still too small. What the hell? Hey, roll on with
Oh
it.
shit! I'm gonna unmute. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, at this point, whatever. I'm just gonna roll with it. But these trailers are definitely not fitting these headers.
That's why I just get the New Holland one where it just turns into a trailer.
Oh, must be nice.
Fancy.
Wow. Jam. Nothing like some old school Rascal Flats for you.
I miss Mayberry. Sit porch drinking ice cold cherry. Coke. Everything was black and white. Da-da-da-da.
Also a good one.
I think that's my favorite Rascal Flatts song of all time.
Good question.
Question's that?
Best Rascal Flat songs.
Anything off the first 2 or 3 albums is pretty good. Can't go on with that. Like I get like their biggest hits, probably like Sarah Beth or What Hurts the Most. Not for me. Give me the early stuff. Mayberry, Love You Out Loud. What's it? These Days. It's another good one. I do enjoy Mayberry. I'm not a huge Rascal Flatts fan. Mayberry
I know.
was the jam.
What's so sad is to find this, like how far down I have to scroll is just pathetic. So I think like the first album had I'm Moving On. I think that's probably like their best song.
Another good one, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was their big thing. Oh yeah, I remember this album. Long, Slow, Beautiful Dance. Yeah, good stuff. And then Melt had These Days and
These
Mayberry.
Days.
And I Melt is also a good song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I Melt, Mayberry. Oh, and Love You Out Loud.
Yep.
So look, that's pretty good. There's 3 solid hits on that one. That's 2002.
My first album was in
Feels like
2000.
today is
It's Praying for Daylight, This Everyday Love, While You Love Me, I'm Moving On.
mm-hmm.
See Me Through is also a good one. That wasn't a single, but that was a really good one. From Time to Time, that's another good one. Melt. These Days, I Melt. Mayberry, Love You Out Loud. Dry County Girl is pretty good. I like that one.
I'd say like Me and My Gang.
My
and
Worst
Feels
Fear.
Like Today.
It's amazing.
Feels Like Today and Me and My Gang are, I think, my favorite albums. Although Still Feels Good is pretty good, because like Take Me There is a good song.
Yeah, no, I'm going with Rascal Flatts and Melt as my two. The first two albums are my favorite.
Not even Feels Like Today.
It's a good album, but my favorite is the first two. Like
Who hasn't?
all my
What's
favorite
the
Rascal
Broken
Flatts
Road?
songs.
Feels Like Today. Here's
Yeah.
to You.
Yeah, I get.
Fast
I know.
Cars and Freedom. Day
Isn't-
Before You. I mean, man, those are jams.
Yeah, it's not knocking it at all. I enjoy it too, but my favorite ones, like all my favorite songs, are on the first two albums.
I can respect that. For whatever reason, I gave them such disrespect.
Good lord.
Because I kind of grouped them in with completely different bands. I don't know why I did this, but I just kind of like grouped them with Darius Rucker. Mm-hmm. Well, think about it. It was like the first iteration of like stadium country. So I just like stopped listening to Rascal Flatts.
Hootie and the Flats.
If you think about it, I
Or
would love
Hootie
to
and the
see those
Rascals.
two. I was gonna say I would love to see those two vocalists swap bands because I think it'd be fire. Think about how good Rascal Flatts songs would sound with Darius Rucker.
So you just hate, what's his name, Gary LaVox, for
I like
singing
Gorilla
Wagon
Fox
Wheel.
a lot.
Yeah, but if he swapped, he'd be singing Wagon Wheel, and you would
Well, I
you would
prefer him to
hate him
sing
because
Wagon Wheel over Darius Rucker. All right. If he sang Wagon Wheel, I could understand. I could understand. Rascal Flatts covering Wagon Wheel before Darius Rucker covering Wagon Wheel. All right. There was one that was a logical step, and then one that made no sense. Okay, I could see Rascal Flatts covering that. It's not racist, right? It's got nothing to do with that.
Okay. No, I
It
can't
doesn't.
get more racist than my sister's reaction. She was
Right.
when she first was his first song.
Oh, all right.
No. His very
No, it
first
was All Right.
country album. No, his very first country song. What was it?
All right.
Nope.
I promise you it was. Listen, I've been getting shit for this from day one. As soon as Darius Rucker decided to do his own thing, I've been getting shit for like almost 20 years.
Don't think I don't think about it. All Right was his third single. But I don't think about it is him in a video. He's in the middle of a field.
No, man, All Right was his first country hit. I promise
No,
you.
don't think about it was his first single. That was his first.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. I'm looking at it right now. It was released May 27th, 2008. All Right didn't come out till April 20th, 2009. Almost a year later.
Okay, so I've had this conversation with so many people, mostly my wife, because we had a huge argument over what is My Chemical Romance's best song.
Helena.
Thank you. Okay, but would you say that was their first major hit?
Yes.
Okay, she says no.
I was trying to think which one came before. I'm
Not
okay,
Okay.
or Helena.
I'm Not Okay came out first.
Okay, so
So
I'm not okay.
the world
for-
was introduced to the world before, but like, so she qualifies that as like, you know,
Technically-
that's the signature song. That's what everyone knows. But my argument is, listen, just because it was released as the first single doesn't mean that it's like the best
Okay.
song on the album, and it takes some time for them to figure that out. So just like with My Chemical Romance, like Helena wasn't the first song to be a single and have a music video for it, but it's the most iconic, and when everyone thinks of My Chemical Romance, they think of this song. It's their first major hit.
Okay,
I look at this the first way, because All Right was the first major hit.
Jesus
So
Christ.
don't think I don't think about it. May have had a music video and stuff, and it was his first single into country, but it wasn't his first hit.
Yeah, it kind of was.
It wasn't.
When that first song
wasn't.
first
I'll-
came
I'll
out,
die
it
on
was
that hill.
huge. When that song first came out, it was huge. But anyway,
I'll
when-
die on that hill.
No, okay, you can die wrong, but when that song first came out, it was huge. In the music video, he's in the field playing guitar, singing along, and my sister was
I know
like,
the music video.
"Why is this black dude in the middle of a field? He has nothing to do with the song." I was like, "That's the guy singing."
You don't know who it is what it comes down to, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, she's like, why is there a black guy in a country music video? I was like, that's kind of
Listen,
racist.
as soon as I saw
That's the
Darius
singer.
Rucker, knowing, my entire life, growing up with a hoodie, the second I saw him with a cowboy hat on, I was just like,
I mean, he's not the first one, so it's like,
what do you mean?
I mean, he's not the first one.
The first one, what?
Never mind. I think it was something else.
Like, lots of people have tried to make it over into country, like cross genres. I'll give credit to Darius Rucker because, like, he's one of the first to cross over. I just hated when, like, the people that were like 4 or 5 years younger than me, not knowing that Wagon Wheel is not a Darius Rucker OG.
He totally wrote that song.
I'm just going through all the songs. See, I didn't hear this song. I heard All Right first. That was the first song I ever heard from him.
The first one when he first came out country was Don't Think I Don't Think About
Don't forget.
It. And it was a pretty good song.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that song.
I
don't think about it.
I heard All Right before I heard Don't Think I Don't Think About It. But I actually heard All Right, and I think All Right's a fantastic country song. You have to understand, prior to Wagon Wheel, I was all about Darius Rucker country singing. I loved everything. So, like, don't think I don't think about it. I loved that song. All right. I used to play that at our frat parties at least once or twice a night. And everyone loved it.
And
He has some good stuff.
Top notch song, Wagon Wheel.
No, then he pulled that bullshit.
Not to mention, he's a
And then-
giant douche. I used to think it was
Yeah,
just a JT
but-
thing, but then I've heard other rumors about how
He's a
big
prick.
of a douchebag he is.
Yep. Like Brandon,
Like Jason
like,
Aldean.
if I said Wagon Wheel, what would you have to say about that?
I
Great
mean,
Darius Rucker song.
I mean, it's obviously throughout the years, it's been different artists.
You only know that because I've said it.
No.
Who else played it?
No idea.
Right.
I mean, it's more than just his song that's been popular for different celebrities.
Yeah, but you've only known his version of the song.
Yeah, I mean,
That's my problem. Is the younger generation's only heard that version. And at least, like, I had the respect to go back. So half the stuff that, like, my parents showed me, because I just grew up listening to classic rock records, and they were all just, like, copying each other. But my parents, like, made it understood. They're like, hey, I know you like this song, but you need to hear the original version of it. And I was like, okay. And I heard it. But my parents didn't really teach me a whole lot about, like, anything life related. But they did teach me about music. And to always look out for every song and find an earlier version of it. Like, look up the lyrics, see if it's an older version. I can't stand it.
Yeah, because even he didn't even put cover in the title of that, did he?
No.
That's
No.
becoming
And
more-
so that's when I go back to Old Crow Medicine Show, and I'm just like, listen, you guys had a banger that was like you stole it from Bob Dylan, but you made it your own, and you got permission from Bob Dylan without having to pay any royalties or anything like that. So, like, this is your own song. And it was relatively known back then. So, like, how much of that did you sell? Like, how much are they making off of that? They have to be making something. And also, like, why would you ever agree to that? I mean, they probably just looked at the paycheck. It's tough.
Yeah, it's kind of the same way with Blackstone Cherry. Florida Georgia Line's biggest song is a Blackstone Cherry song. They I guess they sold them the rights to it or whatever. But the Blackstone Cherry version is so much better. But they won awards off for George Lyon's version, but not theirs. It's just like, damn.
Yeah, but like you truly believe that the original version is better. Like that should be the one that wins awards.
Yep.
That's the way I feel about Wagon Wheel. Like, listen to both versions.
Oh, I have.
And then listen to, like, have you ever heard the recording of, like, Bob Dylan's version of it? And, like, they actually did it justice, and it actually it's supposed to be a folk song. It's about traveling from the Northeast down south. Like, it's a country song. That's what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, like, pop. Darius Rucker comes in there, and it's just like, well, what do you know about going from the north to the south? Because, like,
you teed me up, and I did not take it. I wanted
me either. I was gonna finish that.
It was
something about reversing directions, and then I just left it alone. But at least we all agree. You know, what's funny is that, like, this guy is from New Hampshire, went to Phillips Exeter Academy, which is like a fancy private school. The lead singer / like fiddler guy. And, like, he actually lived this life. Just, like, living out of his car and just, like, traveling out into the boons. And heading down south. It's pretty cool.
How's it going, Brandon? What's on your playlist these days?
Pop rock country. It's better.
Like no specific like songs. Like what's your top 5 right now? What about that?
I'm mute. What are you listening to, Brandon? Most of my stuff on Spotify is like books on tape. So like my year wrapped at this point is going to be sad.
I can't wait to see my year wrapped this year. I'm all over the place.
Yeah. I've been like, so my mom has access to my Spotify for whatever reason. She I don't know, she doesn't follow me, but she has access to all my playlists and stuff. And because we don't really like talk a whole lot, she likes to just keep in touch by listening to the music that I listen to. So I've just been like making playlists for her of like the new stuff that I'm listening to. And it's all over the place. Right now it's mostly like Sabrina Carpenter. And the
Mine's
Killers.
like we're on the lead up to Ghost and Sleep Token releasing new albums, so it's like the playlist bouncing back and forth between my playlist of my favorite songs from them to my When I Was Young. It's got like all my high school favorites, like all the emo, all the like hard rock stuff. And then I
have a playlist for each.
weirdly into Ailstorm, the pirate metal band. Because every now and then I'm just blaring "fuck you" with the fucking anchor. So my playlist is all over the place. Then I got like Scottish metal in there and all kinds of shit.
I love going back to the old stuff and then just like having it remind me of like other old stuff. Like I actually added a song by the Hush Sound. I don't know if you know them.
I can't say I do.
Yeah, I just like added it to my emo playlist, and then I had so I had something else, and then I remembered from listening to that song, I was just like, oh yeah, the Academy is like they got some songs. Went and found them. Just been adding to that playlist.
Yeah, when we were cleaning before we left, I was playing my When I Was Young playlist, and what song was it? Oh, I can't remember what song. From Under the Cork Tree, one of the songs off there coming on. I was like, oh, I forgot how awesome this album really is. So I just played it through in full. I was like, this is
Dude, end to end.
Yeah.
End to end. It really... That was back in the day when, like, you know how, like, track one used to be, like, some kind of intro, and then they followed that theme throughout the whole album? Mm-hmm. But if you listen to each song individually, you wouldn't be able to put that together. When they actually made albums good.
Like, my wife was like, "Who is this?" Like, this is good Fall Out Boy. This is like right before they all went to shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because as soon as they came out with Dance Dance, I stopped listening to them. I was like,
Dance
fuck
Dance
that.
was on that album. It was Thanks for the Memories
No.
was on the next album.
Oh yeah, we're... Yeah. As soon as they made Dance Dance a single, put it that way.
When that song blew up and they're like, let's just redo this constantly.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, no. Nope, you had two good albums. Leave it at that. What I'm liking is that, so, I think this year for Coachella, they had, Jimmy Eats World. I think it was Jimmy Eat's World. Someone like that. I know it's not All American Rejects. I know that, but it was one of them. And they opened up, and I was just like, yeah, we're back to this. All these bands are coming back out of the woodwork, touring again. It's fantastic. My only concern with this, I mean, I love it because I got to see Newfound Glory last year, and that was like a bucket list item for me. So that was amazing. And on no planet would you ever get to see Newfound Glory like 25 years after Sticks and Stones came out. But they're all making their comebacks. But my issue is like this generation that's like going to Coachella and growing up, like, do they look at it like how I look at like Led Zeppelin? Like classic rock?
Yep.
Is it classic for them? Like throwback?
Yep. Yeah,
But they all know it, and the thing is like the majority knows it. So like I would say from our generation, like I've encountered, I mean, like my wife is a good example of like I bring up like random bands all the time because like late 60s, early 70s bands, that's my specialty. And so I'm like, oh yeah, you ever heard of like these things? I had to explain to her about the band and how the band is like, that's the name of the band. And they have the song that's like, you know, Take the Load Off Annie, but it's called The Weight, but it's by the band. And it's just not just like a generic title. Like it's an actual name of the.
No, that's completely lost.
But like, you know that, right? Like
yeah,
you know the band.
Yeah.
Right. So imagine explaining.
Listening to you explain it, I'm like, holy shit! Someone who doesn't know would be just completely lost.
Well, because I'm a very factual person, so she's like, "What's the name of the band?" And I'm like, "The band." And she's like, "Well, that doesn't make sense."
Who's on
like,
first?
No, the name of the yeah. Essentially.
What's the name of the band? The Who. Yeah, Who. The Who.
Right.
Who what?
Right. Yeah. Who? No. But there's also a band called Who. So don't get that confused.
No, that's him.
No, yeah. There was actually a very popular band at the same time that was US based called Who. And that made things super confusing for that crowd. It's just like, yeah, and the band plays the song that's called The Weight. And she's like, well, what part of the song did they say The Weight? And it's like, well, no, they actually don't say that. They just say, like, take a load off Annie. And she's like, but that's by The Weight. I was like, no, the song's called The Weight, and it's by the band.
Oh, shit.
Like, do you think they look at I think the best example would be like, do you think they look at like the Foo Fighters? Because like I also went to like ZLX, which is like classic rock station, and they were playing the Foo Fighters.
Yep.
Like
my kid
as a month ago, and I was
13
just like,
years old,
oh shit,
knows
like,
Smell
is that...
Like Teen Spirit and considers it classic rock.
So then what becomes, so for us, what's classic rock? Like, what does that become for them?
Ancient rock.
Right? Like, at that point, because I'm going to be teaching my kid about, like, Motion City Soundtrack and, like, Brand New and the feud between, like, Brand New and Taking Back Sunday. Like, I'm going to be explaining that to them and be like, yeah, in your world, this is classic rock, but, like, this is when I was growing up. This is a big deal. And like, they're gonna be like, you also mentioned something about, what's this band, the Beatles? Like, yeah, don't worry about that. That's not important.
Hold on, let me go pull up. Well, no, vinyl's making a comeback, so let me go pull up my vinyl.
I feel like I'm gonna have to like homeschool my kid. And like the first year is just gonna be like music history. And it's like, oh, you want to learn about Greta Van Fleet because you like how they sound? Well, to understand them, you're gonna have to go back to 1964 with a band called Led Zeppelin. And they got their influence from the Beatles, who were simultaneously influenced by the Rolling Stones. So you need to learn that too.
You had gotten along with the football coach in my high school. I made the mistake of wearing a Metallica Whiskey in the Jar shirt, and I had to
only wear a shirt if you know everything about it.
Well, I mean, I know it was a cover song. I didn't know where the song originated. I knew who first recorded it, I guess. Did not know it was an old, was it Irish drinking song or something? Anyway, I wore it. I was wearing it, and I had to go run an errand to him, like, because he was another teacher. Was like, go send this. You know who he is. Go send it to him. And he, for the next 15 minutes, because as soon as I walked in, the girl that was in my shop class, Kim, she's like, oh no, you don't wear bad t-shirts in here. And I was like, what? And by that time, he had caught my eye, or I caught his eye, and he would just give me the full rundown of the history of the song for 15 minutes. And then I had to go back to my teacher and explain why it took me like 20 minutes to run this paper to him when he was only like 2 minutes away. Like, well, you see what happened was, just pointed at my shirt.
Yeah, you definitely got to be able to explain your shirt. I've learned that. Especially nowadays, where people just have no problem calling you out on random shit.
Yeah, that's why I like wear my Ghost shirt, and people were like, oh, I love Ghost. It's like, yeah, I seen him in 2018 in Baltimore. Oh, yeah, well, my favorite song's Spillways. Oh, yeah, okay, you're a new man. You're a new fan. Okay. Tells me everything I need to know about you. Spillways, great song. So great, in fact, that JT likes it. But that explains that they only know new Ghost, not old Ghost. Makes me sad. It sucks when you like a band, really, like, you're happy for their success, but then you also hate their success because it's like,
Yep.
Same way with Sleep Token. I liked Sleep Token before they got ticked, and the same thing happened with Ghost. They got TikTok popular, and they just skyrocketed. And it's just like, okay, so now you're paying $800 for tickets to the shows, and it's just like, nah, nope.
Yep.
I'll wait till you're like on your comeback tour, and I'm in my 60s. See you again. Oh, Brandon left. We asked him about his taste in music, and he just dipped. Is Tony in the game? Oh, Tony is there. Okay. I was like, who's building shit if PJ's left? I didn't see Tony slipped in. But one of the very few rappers I think I would see in concert is going to be at the fair this year. And I told my wife, I was like, I'd go. She doesn't feel the same, so we're not going.
Well, I mean, kind of the same. The 250th, the Revolutionary War, they got stuff going on. And I was like, oh, do you want to go? And I was told by, like, the head honcho that, like, who lives in that town, he's like, they're expecting 400,000 people in there. And I was like, this is such a small town, and they can't handle, like, the security about it. And it's just like, this is just like a weird kind of thing where, like, yeah, it's celebrating something like this, but it's also like a potential, like, political thing. And because it's such a small town and they don't have, like, their security under wraps, like, yeah, I just don't think so. I feel like it's a prime ground for something awful to happen. Like, that being said, like, I don't think anything's gonna happen. Like, I'm 99% sure everything's gonna be fine and it's gonna be a good day. But, you know, like, these days, like, I'm not trying to put myself in those positions. If there's gonna be 400,000 people there, like, I don't really need to be in that situation.
I wouldn't go for simple fact is I don't like people. That's way too many people for me.
The thing is, like, I actually do want to go. They have, like, a bunch of food trucks and, like, street vendors and stuff. It's a whole day. It's like, I do want to go. It's just that side of things. I'm like, ugh. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think I'm too crazy. I don't think I'm too crazy to think that, like, it's a small town. They do what they can to make it secure, but they don't have the resources. It's a historical event, but with everything that's going on politically right now, it could be like a prime ground for someone to do something stupid. So, like, right now, I don't really feel comfortable going to, like, massively public events because there's a lot of angry people out there. So it's just out of safety. I do want to go.
Angry people.
Yeah.
But as long as there's no political leaders there, you're good.
No. It can just be random. And it's becoming, like, more increasingly random. And that's where I'm just like, I hate that they win in this situation that, like, you know, I'm not going because I'm scared. But at the same time, it's like, it could happen. I'm sure it's going to be fun, but it could happen.
Sure it's gonna be great, but there's always a chance. Sure it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But it could happen.
Well, it's not like going to a concert at, like, Gillette Stadium or, like, the Garden where they have, like, facial recognition and, like, a full body scan, essentially, before you get into the stadium. This is just, like, a loose town. They just, like, put up signs for, like, no parking. So, like, they're not capable of handling this. So yeah, I'm gonna question that.
Dude, I was blown away by when we went to the zoo and then to the aquarium. They just have the I guess they're the new metal detectors. We don't have them around here where you just casually walk through. Like there's not like a, it's two poles on either side of the entrance, and they know exactly what you got on you, where it's at. Like we went to the zoo and the woman in front of us had like a pocket knife on her. And as soon as she walked in, they stopped her like, "Hey, you gotta take that back to your car. You can't come in here with that." And as we're walking in, she's like, the security guard's like, "You guys are good. Go ahead." I was like, "How the fuck do they know where?" Because here we got them old school metal detectors where it's just like the plastic thing that you walk through and it beeps and tells you there's metal. But she knew exactly where the pocket knife was and what it was as we were walking through. I was like, damn. I was blown away at that. And the woman's like, I didn't know I had that in it. How do you not know you have a pocket knife? I know everything I have in my pockets. How do you not know you have a pocket knife in your pants pocket? I usually carry one with me. I know it's there. But how do you not know? How do you not know? It's a dumb excuse to be like, oh, I didn't realize I couldn't bring that. Alright, well, ladies and gents, I think that's going to do it for me for tonight. If you guys did enjoy tonight's stream, do me a huge favor. Leave a like down below. It does help me out so very much, and I do appreciate it so very, very much. If you guys do this in the future, Farming Simulator, Farming Fridays, be sure to click that subscribe button. If you guys want to know about whenever I do go live or upload a video, click that notification bell. As always, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.